So how many of you are surprised to see this? Here we are with the Cuphead website. Xbox, Windows 10, Steam, GOG, Mac, and Nintendo Switch. Because this seemed to catch a lot of people off guard. In fact, on their website, boom, big trailer right at the front for the Switch. They even have them playing with the Joy-Con controllers. That's cool. I mean, they're basically both, different colors of the neon color set. Anyway, it's something that seemed to catch a lot of people off guard, and it's starting to become clear that Nintendo and Microsoft have an interesting working relationship right now, and I think most people should understand that they have different positions right now in the marketplace, and this isn't going to be the last game that you thought was only going to be on Microsoft's Xbox One as a console exclusive end up on the Switch. Because there are some others in the works, and the one that most people are pointing to, which should be obvious because we've heard it, Nate even talked about it, that's Ori. Don't be surprised if Ori shows up. I'm thinking E3. In fact, it's most likely what's going to happen is going to be there. In fact, it's probably going to be published, and there's going to be a physical version of it too. So that'd be kind of cool to pick up. Anyway, yes, Cuphead is coming to the Switch. It was announced today at the Nindies presentation. It was the first thing they showed. They kicked it off quick. That was a good way to do it, actually, to kick it off with Cuphead, because that got people excited. That got people to kind of stand up and take notice of that event. A lot of times the indie games and these indie directs that they do, people tend to tune out at times or not get as excited. Well, I think if most people knew that Cuphead was getting announced first thing, there would have been a lot more people tuning in right away to see it. So Cuphead is coming. Now, we had heard about Xbox stuff, and in fact, this announcement probably made some of you guys remember that we heard about Cuphead coming to the Switch from other places. A website, for example, picked up Nate's story, confirmed the Game Pass stuff, and then said that not only would Ori be showing up, but some of Microsoft's big stuff would also be showing up alongside of Cuphead. Ori and Cuphead land on Switch. We have Cuphead right now, which, again, caught a lot of people off guard, despite a lot of us talking about it for a while now. Ori is on the way. Like I said, we saw it kind of leak out in the ratings board, so I would look towards... like E3. That makes the most sense. Or is posted by a retailer. I'm sorry, it's posted by a retailer. So not shocking there. The big one that's going to surprise people, and one that they talked about here on this site, is Halo, Gears, and then Forza. Now, a lot of that has to do with talks, and I'm curious if people would be surprised about those showing up on the Switch. Would you be surprised if a Halo or a Gears of War game or a Forza game showed up on the Switch in some capacity, whether it's through Game Pass that makes its way over or just as a release? Because it shouldn't. It really shouldn't. And there's a couple of reasons why that is. The biggest one is Microsoft's position in the marketplace compared to Sony and Nintendo. See, Sony and Nintendo are still very traditional with their strategy, whereas Microsoft has other avenues like xCloud that they want to focus on. Now, I don't want to say that Microsoft wants to become a third-party company with games, at least not in the near to even somewhat distant future. They're still going to create a box because it's something you can put in your living room, of course, and then they can monetize it through Xbox Live subscriptions, which is something they're doing pretty well, actually, if you think about it, since no one else is really paying for Xbox Live but Xbox users, which actually be myself included, yes. So that box isn't going away. So if you're an Xbox fan and you're very confused right now, well, just know Microsoft's looking for the money right now. Now, Studio MDHR technically owns the rights to Cuphead. They own the IP. They've talked about it before. It was actually Cuphead when it was asked, hey, is that coming to the PlayStation 4? And they just said that, no, it's not. We own the Cuphead IP, but Microsoft helped us out. They helped fund us to get us there and everything, which Microsoft did help out, and it showed. Cuphead is an awesome game, and if you haven't played it, and maybe you were waiting for a Switch version, or maybe you already have it on the Xbox or the PC, and hey, you like the idea of having it on your Switch, it is worth the $20, I think is what it is. It's completely worth $20. I know some people wait for sales on it. It's an awesome game. Everyone should pick it up. But they did say that they own the Cuphead IP, but in the Nindies presentation, it was also said, thanks to Microsoft for making this possible and everything, Microsoft did have a hand in getting Cuphead over. I think there was probably some sort of deal in there or clause in their contract that it would be a console exclusive for Xbox, but you could go put it on, Mac or Linux or any of these other places. You can't put it on another console, and they went with that. And I think it worked for them. Obviously, their vision got out there. They made some money on it. And now it's going to the Switch. And this is going to be funny because I have a feeling, and I guess you can even quote it here, I think Cuphead is going to sell the best on the Switch, and that's even next to things like PC or the Xbox, mostly because we've seen the success of these high-profile indie games, right, with Hollow Knight selling the best on the Switch, even next to PC, by quite a margin, apparently. So Cuphead is probably going to do extremely well on the Switch. I don't see that being something that flops or even struggles. It's going to sell a lot. Studio MDHR is about to make a lot of money, which is good, because that would then work into a sequel, a Cuphead 2, or even some new game from them. They've proven themselves with Cuphead, so if they want to do a new one, that's fine. Now, you might be wondering, why isn't Cuphead going to the PlayStation 4, despite Microsoft being fairly open with their games and even saying, oh, we want it on everything? Well, there's a little bit of a catch, a little bit of a caveat here. So, this was in Xbox Wire. It was put out today, and they made it public and everything after the announcement, of course. Because at the bottom, they talk about implementing Xbox Live into Cuphead on the Switch as an update that's going to take place after it comes out next month. Because it's coming out in 30 days or so, so it's going to be out pretty quick. But they want to implement Xbox Live features. So if you look down here, right, it says, growing out of these recent discussions, we are partnering with Studio MDHR to investigate bringing Xbox Live features beyond Xbox and PC to Nintendo Switch. Yes, this means the fans will now have the opportunity to experience Studio MDHR's award-winning debut game on Nintendo Switch with Xbox Live. Most likely that means things like achievements, of course. In fact, Major Nelson even posted that on Twitter and then deleted the tweet, probably because he got a bit ahead of himself there and mentioned achievements right away as an Xbox Live feature, which for Switch, yeah, that's a feature that I'm sure people on there want, because they don't have Xbox Live with achievements. They don't have achievements in general. So you move Xbox Live over with achievements, and then you have that. So that makes sense. Now, Sony has been very against this. We don't have Minecraft Better Together update because of this. So most likely, Microsoft is going to attach Xbox Live to a lot of these games that can go elsewhere, because what does Microsoft want? They want engagement. They want users. They want monthly active users. They want people to be logging in Xbox Live, because that's a number they're trying to grow outside of growing consoles. Now, console sales are good. It's what we've always known. You have a lot of people playing on your consoles, well, you're going to get a lot of sales, and you're going to get third parties drawn to you for the chance to put their game in front of a large audience. Well, Microsoft wants to do something a bit different. They don't want console generations in the traditional sense as we've seen before. They've made this clear at times. So what are they doing with that? Well, they're probably going to work with xCloud, of course, and again, continue to provide a box kind of as we go through generations. And the biggest thing about this is there is, I think, a big trump card they're going to play going into next generation, and it's going to have to do with xCloud and their current Xbox One systems. Right now, Microsoft is being doubled up by Sony, more than doubled up, 2-to-1. We just saw Sony put out, of course, they're coming up on 100 million units, and I can tell you right now, Xbox One systems are roughly 41 to 42 million units out there currently. They're getting pushed around. So we're going to get to the next generation, and Microsoft is most likely going to flip a switch, and they're going to provide an app for their xCloud service for the old Xbox systems, the Xbox One VCR even, to where you can stream these newer ones. Now, you may not want to stream, but for people who don't have the money to initially upgrade, it's a stopgap. You can buy the game, and then you can stream it, because most likely for those Xbox systems that already pay for Xbox Live, xCloud will be included in some way. So it is an interesting way to do that, to all of a sudden jump immediately to 40 million plus into the next generation, which is something that Sony probably won't be doing. And Nintendo, of course, is doing their own thing. I think that's why they're allowing Microsoft to put Xbox Live there. It's just more games for them, more reason to buy their system in their traditional sense, sell their first parties, and Microsoft gets their monthly active user base that they desperately want for Xbox Live. It basically works out well for both of them, but it probably wouldn't work out well for Sony and Microsoft to do that together, because Sony's doing the same thing. They make money off their network by quite a bit. So why would they let Xbox Live there? They won't. At least they won't for a long time. And that's why the relationship between Nintendo and Microsoft is only going to continue growing, because it works for both parties. And if Cuphead showing up on the Nintendo Switch does not tell you that, I'm not sure what will. Actually, I know what will. Maybe Halo, a Gears, or a Forza. Maybe one of those big ones. Would that surprise you if they showed up this year? Would it surprise you if one of those games popped up at like E3 or a Nintendo Direct or something? Because it shouldn't.